Good Friday is an observance, a remembrance. It's the day we remember the crucifixion of Jesus. But there's more to it than that. There's more to it than remembering. Our aim is to be people called to the cross and get others to join with us. We want to embrace the resurrection. The famous sermon says, it's Friday, but Sunday's coming. More precisely, the point of the story is that Friday is the road to Sunday. It's a journey. There's no Easter Sunday without Good Friday. There's no resurrection without the cross. We need to remember, we need to recognize there is no freedom to live in faith without this in place, because that is the way God intended it to be. The very idea of Good Friday causes concern, and let me explain. You see, the problem is that both Christ's power and wisdom led him to the cross, a denial of everything he had done before. Those who had seen his power wondered why he seemed so powerless at his greatest need. Those who saw his intelligence wondered how someone so smart could miscalculate so badly. Both sides missed what Jesus and his Father were saying when he said, "Unless a grain of wheat falls into the ground and dies, it abides alone. But if it dies, it produces many." Not just his words, but his very life is a parable. It wasn't just the people of Jesus' day who had a problem with the cross. And the fact that Jesus stayed there, knowing all of the miracles he had performed. The people we speak to week after week have a problem with the cross. Religious-minded people want miracles and power. Intellectually minded people want wisdom and truth. But what God offers us all is first the cross. That's all. Until we can get to grips with that and have an understanding of that, we won't be able to move on in our journey of faith in Jesus Christ. The earliest believers called the cross the wisdom of God and power of God. This is a stumbling block for us to consider today, that both his power and wisdom led him to the cross. People prefer not to dwell on such things. After all, who respects suffering? When is the last time you spoke to people about suffering? Because in this day and age, we just want to fix it, don't we? Verse 15 of our reading today says, "But the gift is not like the trespass. For if the many died by the trespass of the one man, how much more did God's grace and the gift that came by the grace of the one man, Jesus Christ, overflow to the many?" God has an abundance of grace. And what we see here is how much more. But the gift is not like the trespass. This is talking about original sin, Adam and Eve in the garden. You see, original sin, the fall, is what set the whole of humanity into sin. But we see here it's getting flipped over. The gift that came by the grace of the one man, Jesus Christ, overflow to the many. This is restorative power. This is reconciliation. Good Friday provides the opportunity to proclaim, once you've been to the cross, everything changes. Stumbling blocks and foolishness turn into power and wisdom. The cross changes everything. If something's pursuing you, if something is chasing you and weighing you down, then perhaps the event that will change you is the cross. If nothing is changing, maybe you haven't been to the cross. Easter is indeed about the empty tomb, the resurrected Jesus. It's about new life we can receive through what Christ did for us. But first, it's about the cross. Why are we in such a hurry to rush Jesus up to heaven? Is it because the cross doesn't fit into our picture of how things ought to be? It didn't fit into anyone's picture back then either. There was a lot of confusion for Jesus' disciples surrounding the events that unfolded. But Friday is the road to Sunday. It was the road for Jesus. It's the road for us. It's the road for us as we journey together this Easter weekend. We need to sit and ponder what the cross means for us. It means freedom to proclaim Christ as Lord. It means freedom to enter into the Holy of Holies. That's why the curtain ripped in two. So that we can have direct access, to have a relationship with God, that we may be saved.